Yeah, now Adrian mentioned there the regulatory flexibilities that we've seen brought in since the start of the pandemic. I wondered whether these are flexibilities that we think could be extended and could perhaps represent long-term solutions for the industry, even outside of the context of the pandemic.
Yeah, Dave, maybe I can start off on that one. So I think there were some measures that were kind of emergency measures that exist in most regulatory systems, like things like temporary imports or re-importing what had been exported, which normally you cannot do very easily, but this was made more flexible. I think the other things that could be considered, I think there was a greater use of digital tools for regulation. Just to give an example, we had a lot of use for narcotics, like fentanyl and this kind of thing during the crisis, to import or export, even between European countries. Okay, so let's say between Germany and France, but also, of course, obviously between, say, India or the US and Europe. You need a special import-export license, and normally this is a paper license that you need to obtain, signed by an authority. And of course, this was difficult during the pandemic because everybody was in lockdown. Rather quickly and efficiently, the UN agency responsible for this was able to help us and help the regulators move to a digital format for this process. And of course, that was absolutely necessary, and it enabled the continued flow of this very critical product during the pandemic, to be able to flow across borders. But there are many other good examples of that going forward. And I think from our perspective, to the extent that we can implement more digital tools to continue high standard regulation, but much more efficient in terms of allocation, so the movement of product across countries, that will benefit the industry significantly. But more importantly, it will reduce the risks of localized stockouts in certain countries. You'll be able to move products much faster. And I'd say that's for the global world, but also inside the European Union. So we still don't have it perfect even within what is considered to be a single market, which is the EU.